of Accountants Are Sexy Change My Mind. Check out who we have today for the second time. We've got Bev Flanagan. Welcome.
Thank you. I'm so greedy, aren't I, coming on your show twice?
Well, you've done a couple of things now, and I need you to tell the world about it. I need you to tell people about what you're up to, because it's something that I talk about. I don't touch on too much, but it makes my life a lot easier. So right now you're talking about scaling to exit.
Yes.
And scaling with a goal in mind.
Yes. And it's not just about if you're exiting your business in the next year or two, or even sooner than that. It's every single accountant and bookkeeper that's listening to this right now, every single one of them out there will be exiting their business at some point in the future. That's inevitable. It's like death and taxes.
Yeah.
If you're in a business, if you're a business owner, you will be exiting it at some point. You never know what's around the corner. I don't want to start on a negative note, but illness could creep in, so you might not have a choice to sell your business. You may run your business to the best it can be, and then you want to sell it, which is where you come in, and that's what I want to help with. You may just literally just get fed up with it and you just don't want to do it anymore. Hopefully that's not the case. You may pass it down to your children. There's loads of different eventualities, but at some point, every single accountant bookkeeper that runs their own practice will be exiting at some point.
Yeah. So it's understanding how you want that to look and working towards that. So it's the best for you and the best for your clients.
Exactly.
So I doubt people listening won't know who you are, but just in case, do you want to give a brief introduction as to where you've come from and why you're talking about exiting?
So as you said, my name is Bev Flanagan. It's Beverly, but we never say Beverly because that's just when I'm getting told off. So it's Bev, but officially Beverly. I've been an accountant literally forever. I think I'm in the 27th, 28th year now of being in the accounting world. I didn't start off in practice. I started off working for businesses such as the Daily Mail and Royal and Sun Alliance and stuff like that. Cut a very long story short, I got made redundant from the Daily Mail, and I absolutely loved that job, by the way. It was a very good job. I was financial controller, looked after 4 of the Daily Mail companies, had a big team. I don't like saying underneath me, but a team that I led. Yeah. And the Daily Mail at the time had literally thousands of different companies like the ones that I looked after underneath its wings, and we all did our own accounts in our own software in our own time. And the head office at Daily Mail said, enough's enough. We need to consolidate this and create a big shared accounting centre. Mm-hmm. So they created a shared accounting centre in Leicester. Nothing wrong with Leicester whatsoever, but none of us wanted to relocate from Sheffield, where I'm from. And then I thought, you know what do I do? I think I might start an accounting practice. And I remember sitting, I can literally right now imagine that where I was sat with my finance director at the time talking about it. And he says, just go for it, Bev. You've got nothing to lose. You've been made redundant. That's fine. You've got a redundancy package there. So, I was okay financially for a little bit. What's the worst can happen? Don't get any customers. I just go and get another job in 6 months' time. 17 years later, I started off as a bookkeeping practice, grew it into an accountancy practice, and fully scaled it myself. I was the only director, only partner, and grew it to be 100% in the cloud and successfully sold it in the summer of last year.
Yeah. And that was with Johan Gorey?
With Johan, yes, from On Point Accounting Group, yes. And
I'm fairly sure this podcast is going to come out after the one with Johan. So if you haven't listened to the one with Johan to hear his side of the story, then go check that out as well, because it's super interesting how opportunities present themselves sometimes.
Yeah.
So I remember when I first met you and when you first came on this podcast, you were I felt like you were a mother hen. You were so protective and so fierce with your business. I when the news broke that you'd sold it, I was like, that is a shock to me.
It was to everybody.
Yeah.
I think I was obviously there's quite a few people that's known in our world, isn't there? Obviously you're well known. A lot of people know me because I talk a lot on social media. There's quite a lot of us that people know of. And I think if I'm saying this correctly, and please excuse me if I'm not, but I don't know of anybody else that's had I'm going to make myself sound a bit cocky, and I don't mean to. This is the Sheffield in me. a high profile that then went boom, sold my business. I was like, whoa, what? And I think it was a shock for everybody. But it was very good. Things happen for a reason. That was absolutely the right time for me. I'd got it to a point where it was running itself, and I'd done it for such a long time that I just needed a new challenge in life. And I met with Johan through another connection. He wasn't the first one, by the way, that wanted to buy my business. There was a couple of other people, but they weren't the right fit. And as you said, I was very protective over my business. It was my baby. I built it from scratch, from a kitchen table. I know everybody says that, but that's true. And I couldn't just let it go to anybody. It needed to go to the right people, the right company that I knew would carry on and be passionate about it as what I was, and cared for my clients as much as I did.
Yeah, and I think that's something that really came through on when Johan was speaking about it. Like, it can't go your business. You build it up and you think about it for every second of it, every day, for as long as it's alive. Like, you can't just allow it just to go into any old hands. And I think a lot of people worry about this, and it kind of puts them off growing it to that level.
I think you're right. And you know what, Kelly, as well, a lot of practice owners that I speak to, they don't even think about an exit in mind. And that's quite scary itself. They're just running it as if it's a hobby. And it's just something that they know what to do. They just get a bit of money each month. It pays the bills. And that's all they think of. And that, you know, they've not even got an exit in mind. And even if it came to the point where they were ill or something like that stopped them in the tracks, the business would just stop and it wouldn't run without them. So that's now what I'm trying to do, to get that message out there and to help as many people as I can to change the mindset on that, and for them to realise it's not a hobby, it's absolutely a saleable asset that they're working on and that they're expert in.
Yeah. So I've heard from people, and once again, this is not my people, the non-specific group of people that I see on the internet. But
internet.
Yeah.
Never heard of that.
Yeah.
So going to use it.
So but yeah, so I've seen on that people discussing that or mentioning that their business isn't going to be valuable enough to sell. So they're like, why bother? I'm just going to close down. Like, they've got a small portfolio of clients, so why even bother? And I think it's a real shame. And also, like, it's not very good for the clients to have that mindset.
That's so disturbing for me that people think that, because it's mindset. Absolutely, ultimately is mindset, and people not think. And this is what we're like as accountants. We're generally kind and nice people, and even just going off tangent a little bit, this is why we don't charge enough. And this is one big thing why a lot of accounting practices can't scale and can't grow, because they don't charge enough. Because it's like the clients will go to them, can you just do this, Bev? Yeah, I'll just do it. I'll just do it for nothing because it's only going to take me 5 minutes. What? Don't be ridiculous. They can't do it themselves. The business owners, you've studied hard for it. You've got the expertise. You know what to do. They're wanting you to do that, so bloody charge for it. And that's a big thing. But then, like you said, when it comes to selling not even selling, exiting the business, they don't see it that they've got an asset. And I've heard of this before, where people just get to that point and they're like, I'm just going to give my clients notice, and then they can go and find another accountant. Like you said, that's such a pain in the arse for the clients anyway.
Yeah, that's exactly the narrative and the story that I see. Once again, not my field. I don't talk about it all the time, but I do get involved in conversations, and I'm very, very interested in how people view their business, because that affects the effort that they put into building the business and the marketing that they have to, like the output that they need to achieve in order to grow in the first place. So if you don't have that kind of goal in mind, then everything else just becomes a little bit loose. Like, there's no strategy towards it. You're just like building the business as and I don't want to say this in a derogatory way because it suits some people, but just a lifestyle business.
But they're not building a business though, in my eyes. They're literally just it's just a vicious circle, a constant vicious circle, chasing deadlines, moaning all the time because they're not getting paid enough. Clients are doing the reading, but clients are doing your reading because you're not charging them enough and you're not showing your value because you're too busy. So it is a massive vicious circle.
So do you think that, because one thing I didn't realise before I come into the accounting space, because I'm not an accountant, I put accountants on a pedestal. I'm like, you like a god to me. You're welcome. But when I came into this space, I started to realise that actually, as much as you're all like God level on the stuff that I can't do, there are still challenges within the business, within the mindset, and within becoming business owners, not just accountants. So where do you think the step from being an accountant to a business owner, where is that divide?
Well, there isn't, is there? You've just got to do it. And there's no sort of books out there, is there? You know, we become accountants because we like numbers, basically, and we like helping people, and we like solving problems, and we like making things better and growing things. But that is not you being a full-on 100% business owner. So when I first started, I was saying, yeah, I love numbers, I can do this, I can do that, do tax returns, do VAT returns, management accounts, blah blah blah. Oh yeah, but now I'm a business owner, and now I've got to have a hat on that does sales and marketing, and now I've got to do my own finances as well as everybody else's, and I've got to be a cleaner in my office if I've got an office, and you've got to do everything, haven't you? And I think it's just if I was a business owner starting right again, I know I have, but in my new business, but like if I were going right back to when I first started my business, I would, and people have got no excuses these days because they didn't have as much social, to me sounding like I'm 99 years old, but there weren't as much social media stuff happening. I remember going to the phone box, ringing my boyfriend at university rather than getting me mobile. True story.
No, I remember as well.
And it lasting like 3 hours. Oh my God, sound like my mum. But what I'm saying is there is so much content out there right now that if you're starting off as an accounting or bookkeeping practice, there's so much out there. There's so much to copy from people that's already done it, and follow their lead type thing.
Yeah, and try things and try different ways out. So you're segueing into one of my favourite subjects. So I'm just going to explore this just because it's a free conversation. I'm on a bit of a campaign at the moment because I hear a lot of people giving advice to others saying you have to do things this way, and they're prescriptive because that worked for me. But what they haven't done is given any time and consideration to what this other person is trying to achieve, or their personality, or the resources available to them. And I'm on a bit of a drive to say, you know, there are so many different ways out there. We need to be testing.
And this is also quite what's the topic? What's the word? What I'm trying to look, controversial topic as well, Kelly, because there is many coaches, mentors, consultants, whatever you want to call us out there. There's non-accounting. There are coaches that coach accountants or bookkeepers that have never been an accountant, or there's ones like me that have been an accountant. And I've heard as well some of the non-accountants ones saying that you shouldn't go to an accountant one like me, not me personally, but just in general, because we will tell them exactly how we run our practice, and you must do this and you must do that, like you just said. That's absolutely not the case. We're all different. We all have different goals. You know, we all work at different paces. We all, it's totally different. One person's goal might be turnover. One person's goal might be number of staff. So it's totally different. No, there's not one size fits all.
One might be scaling to exit within 2-3 years. One might be scaling to exit in 15 to 20 years.
Exactly.
It's so people's goals really matter when they put their marketing plans together.
Definitely.
Yeah. So, but it wasn't me, because if I know that, because I recommend people to go and work with other people all the time.
Yeah.
Because I'm not right for everybody. And I think once you've got that mentality of, you know, I've got the people who want to work with me, and for marketing, business development, if that's where they are, brilliant. If you need any support on systems and the back end of your business, I am not the one. So horses for courses.
That's the thing for accountants. I don't know what the percentage is. I would say it's more 60-40 split on accountants that like social media as well.
Yeah.
As in 40, the lower end on social media, the higher don't touch it and they don't want to. It's a bit shy, a bit introverted, and that's absolutely fine if that's how you are. But still, whether you're on social media or not, people still don't, accountants still don't have marketing plans at all.
No, I know this.
And you can see this, obviously, Shell, the expert in this, every single day you can see it. And that's the other thing. If you do want to scale and grow your practice, because like we've said, at some point you're going to exit it. So let's get it to a stage where it's going to be worth a lot more than it is now.
Yeah.
If you're going to market, because you're going to have to market yourself, like you've got to, you have to. And you don't have a marketing plan. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, it really is. Like one of the pieces of the puzzle that I'm campaigning against at the moment is I built my practice on referrals. I've been going 20 years and I built it on referrals, and that's how you should build yours. Well, you probably had the yellow pages when you first started.
I know they're 99 years old and they've got grey hair.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like they started in a different time, different place, like different era, yet they're given the same advice. Yeah. And I find that absolutely crackers.
Referrals is obviously a very good source of getting new clients and stuff, but you can't just rely on that.
No, well, you can't rely on it at all because it's not within your control.
Exactly.
Like, you can ask and you can encourage, but you can't control it.
Exactly.
And so, all right, let's keep on the marketing theme. What do you think about niching?
I think niching's good.
Yeah.
Again, controversial. Some people say no, but I say yes. So I niched towards the end before I sold the last couple of years. So I niched in construction and trades.
Yes, you did, yeah.
And I really liked niching because it was an area that I loved looking after. I know this is fair to say, construction clients are rubbish with the books. Yeah, they'd rather go and like fit taps and things and fit showers than do bookkeeping. So that's good because we can do it for you. So we really added value for our construction clients. I used to go to a lot of networking events where it was typically construction led. So that's where I got a lot of my clients from there. So I decided to niche, and you just become expert in your field, and people then naturally go to you anyway because they know that you're the expert.
And what happens to referrals when you niche?
You get millions.
That increase. Like, you've given people a reason to recommend you and refer you. I think this is the thing that people miss when they're a general practice. Yes, the world is your oyster. By all means, you're open to lots of business, but you haven't given a specific reason for people to come to your door and to buy from you. Exactly. So I'm not pro niching. I'm not against it. I think I sit on the fence for most things because I really do think that it's how you want to run your business, not how other people do. But it cuts through so much of the noise, doesn't it?
And I'm the same. So, if you don't niche, you don't generalize in a certain area or industry, that's absolutely fine. You're still going to get clients. But from my personal opinion and experience, it absolutely worked for me, 100%. Yeah. And especially for me but if you do want a niche, though, make sure it's an area that you'd like to do. So don't go into construction just because I've said it or somebody else has said it and you absolutely hate CIS. That would not be the right fit for you, and it wouldn't work for you. So I like CIS. I don't know why, but I did. My craziness. But
you're the first person to say that.
I know quite a few on social media though that niche in trades and construction that I can think of, and I think it's a split between ladies and gents accountants as well, and all over the country. But it's a good area to niche in. There's plenty of tradespeople out there, and like you said, the referrals then start to come in thick and fast, especially if your marketing is geared up towards that niche as well. So they're seeing you online all the time, specifically dedicated to that area. Oh, sorry, my phone's ringing. And then, but then, a plumber will know an electrician will know a bathroom fitter, and a bathroom fitter will know somebody that, I don't know, does bedrooms, and they all talk to each other.
Yeah. And the conversation they have between them, instead of going, oh yeah, I know an accountant, she'll be all right. They go, I know an accountant, she's specialist in this area.
Exactly.
And that's so much more powerful.
Yes.
I still think that a lot of people think that the niche has to be, what's the expression, 1 inch wide and a mile deep, which is nice if you've got it. But at the same time, you could have a niche that is wider, and you could segment that up into like different categories.
Absolutely. And I was scared to niche at first. I'm not going to lie. I actually was scared because I thought, oh, if I niche in construction, then I've got other clients that are beauticians and fish and chip shop owners. Are they not going to want
They're
to
going to hate me.
Yeah, are they not going to want to stay with me anymore, my existing clients? Or am I not going to get any other industry because they do still want you?
Yeah, I can't remember who I was having a conversation with the other day, but as soon as you niche, almost immediately you start to get all of the outliers. Like it's a really weird situation. You're like, I have chosen to work within a specific field, and then everybody's like, but would you work with this company? But would you work with this industry? But would you work with this?
Yeah, I know. You just think, oh, I'm limiting myself if I'm niching. You're not. You're opening yourself up to a greater audience, if I'm being honest. But yeah.
So niching is one thing, but let's think about scaling and to grow towards this exit.
Yeah.
What kind of exits are available to accountants and bookkeepers out there, and why should they be thinking about this now?
There's lots of different ways to exit your business when the time comes and you're ready for it. And I mentioned them a little bit earlier as well. The main one is selling on to another business owner, in particular if you've got an accountancy firm, to another accountancy firm like I did. And the reason I'm saying that is because it is a scary thing when you sell your business. I'm not even going to lie. It is scary. Sorry, Joanne, it's scary. But once you've done it and you're with the right company, you'll realise straight away that you're with the right company or not. But like I said, Joanne was the third company that I spoke to. And I knew straight away that it was the right fit. They used the same software that we did. The sort of business model was the same as what I had. The staff moved over to Johan's. So my staff now work for Johan, and they're still there as well. And it's been over a year now. And ultimately, you want to make sure that the clients are going to get looked after. So by selling to another reputable accounting firm that are experts in acquiring firms, like On Point Accounting Group were for me, it was a seamless process. It seems crazy, it's scary, but it was very seamless. I'm not sometimes when you say a thing, if it seems too good to be true, it usually is.
Yeah,
that's how I felt at the time. But it worked because he'd got everything ready, and we weren't the first company that he'd bought. So they knew what they were doing. That's fine, and it was very, very seamless. But it was also seamless because my practice was ready to be sold.
Yeah. And when he was talking about it the other day, it sounded so fast. Like from decision to purchase, like it feels like, for me, it would have felt like the rug had been taken out under my feet. It was that fast.
I spoke to him, I think it was like about 6 weeks before we actually sold, and we'd gone through all the due diligence and all the checks and everything that he needed to do to make sure everything was all above board and whatever. And I weren't fibbing about any figures I'm telling him about. And then so we sold. I think my contract was the 31st of July 2022. And I actually exited fully from the business on the 18th of August. So just over 2 weeks. But that was my choice as well. I could have walked away straight away, but I just got a few loose ends with clients that was sort of my friends that I just wanted to finish some stuff up. And so literally just over 2 weeks, and that were it. And then I felt like something had died. I'm not going to lie, because I'd gone from being running my own practice for 17 years to like, what do I do now? I've got no VAT returns to do. No stuff to talk to. And
somebody send me a VAT return quick.
That only lasted a short time though, and then I thought, yeah, this is brilliant. But no, there's lots of different ways to exit. You could pass it on to your children, like I've said. There's loads of different ways. One way you should never, ever, ever exit is just to give up. Give your clients up thinking they're not worth anything. Please, please, please do not do that. Think of yourself as a business owner. You have got a saleable asset, and don't just give your clients notice.
So when we say that then, so for clarity, what kind of portfolio do you need in place for it to be a saleable asset, or does it not matter? Where are the lines? Where are the boundaries?
Portfolio as in what respect? The number of clients?
Number of clients, yeah.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all. What matters is that the business doesn't solely rely on the owner. Okay. As in, if it was just me and I did everything and I was going to my clients on site, I'm never going to be able to sell that business, because as soon as that person left, as in me, they'd all want to leave and get somebody else that wants to come on site. So for me to sell to Johan's company, we were fully in the cloud and they're fully in the cloud. So it needed to be that seamless to my clients. So everything carried on. So from the 31st of July, when I sold it officially, to the following days, the only difference that my clients saw was that Bev Flanagan didn't own it anymore, or another person that owned it. Everything else was exactly the same. So if your business can run sort of to an extent without you as much as possible, that's brilliant. You've got to be able to have even debts is not too bad, because companies will buy another company if they've got some debts on the balance sheet. That's fine. It depends on what they are. It's quite bespoke, to be honest, but these are just like general. Another really good thing is to make sure that nobody owes you money, though. Making sure that you've got monthly direct debits from your clients, so you're not never having to chase your clients. One thing that made my business more valuable that Johan said was my branding, which obviously is your area of expertise, Kelli. So I got a really good branding. I'd got a good following on social media. We got, I think, 64 5-star Google reviews. I think we were the highest rated at that time in our area. I got a YouTube channel. I was doing TikToks. I was doing Facebook, and the marketing and everything was brilliant, to the point that when Johan has taken on acquired previous practices, because their branding wasn't brilliant, they'd sort of swallowed their business up under their name and under their branding. So they weren't called what they were called before. So my business that Johan bought from me still called Mind Your Assets. So he carried the branding on, and he's never done that before.
It's still a genius name. Mind Your Assets. Like, beautiful.
He needed to be. Well, I'm not a Flanagan and Co type person. Do you know what I mean? It needs to be exactly what it says. Mind your assets. Well, minding your assets accounts.
Could you imagine you with a green background with like scrolly writing everywhere?
No.
No, I couldn't imagine it.
No.
And also that would just blend into every other accounting firm in the whole entire world. So.
Exactly. And that's where marketing absolutely comes in. You have to be different. You've got to differentiate yourself from other practices. We all do pretty much the same thing, don't we? We all do compliance stuff. We all do VAT returns, payroll, like I've said before. But what makes you better than the other practice?
Yeah.
And that's down to branding, basically, and other stuff, obviously, as well. But
bang on about this all the time. There is something in there. There is a story. There is a history. There is something in everybody that will help them differentiate themselves. They might not know it yet. It might not have surfaced yet, but there is definitely something. And I think the accounting profession is one of the most difficult to differentiate. It's so hard. You use the same software. You can't just say, "Oh, I'm zero practice," and everyone's going to come running, because there is a million thousands of other zero practices trying to do the same thing. So it's really hard. So it has to come. The story and the differentiation has to come within. And I don't think people like digging to find out what that is. They don't want to know.
Do you help accountants to find their story then?
Yeah, I bloody do. Yeah. Absolutely. No, that's I think it's one of the main things. So marketing is like huge, isn't it? Like the topic is massive. So we do the differentiation stuff is the first thing we attack.
Yeah.
And once you've got that, once you've got the stories and the audience, then you can follow on into the systems and processes. And when you're at the systems and processes stage, that's for me when you can scale. You have to do the front work. You have to do that. You have to top load it. And it's, once again, sometimes it's too much for people. They don't want to do that work.
And clients don't care, business owners don't care if you can do VAT returns and compliance, because they just expect that that's going to happen anyway. They also don't care what qualifications you've got, because they're assuming that you are qualified, that you can do it, which hopefully you are. They just don't care about those things. They care about that you are different to other people. They care about the touch points, the communication with the clients, because that's a big thing that accountants don't do. They leave the communication.
Yeah.
And
they call themselves forward-thinking accountants and never think forward.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly, yeah. You absolutely need to differentiate yourself, whether that's through your branding. Well, it's a multitude of lots of different things together, isn't it, really?
The branding is one thing, your logo, your colours and everything. I mean, you've done an exceptional job. Like, if you asked 100 people that you were connected to about...
What's their favourite colour?
Yeah, everyone will go purple straight away, bang, like without a shadow of a doubt, purple. So, I mean, when you rocked up to Accountex in, what was it? Was it a green jacket?
No, I had a blue jacket on. That was so stupid because I've got a purple suit as well. I'll wear that for Accountex Manchester.
Yeah, I mean, I was like, are you sure that's Bev?
Why did I wear blue? Yeah. I think my purple suit must have been in the wash that day or something.
Yeah. So yeah, that like the branding is your logos and your colours and everything, but more importantly than that, your brand story and your brand marketing. That's what I like to get involved with. I'm not a branding designer. I don't care about the fancy stuff that you put out there. What I want to know is how you connect with your clients.
Yes.
And people miss that because it's not the sexy stuff, it's the harder stuff.
And a lot of the stuff as well that accountants don't, regarding marketing, that they don't do, and this is what accountants do care about, is how you've helped other people, other business owners. That's massive.
Yeah, just telling the stories of what's going on in your company, how you help people, and also if you're thinking about niching, trying niches, or even just want to cut through some noise, talking about the industries your clients are in. This is the industry my client is in. She's a florist, and I've helped her do X, Y, and Z in their business. Like, it's so simple, but it works.
Do you know what I wanted? And the thing is, with accountants, we just see it as that's our normal day job. This is what we normally do, so we don't think it's anything special, but it is. So one story I always tell is that we had a company on our books that came over to us. They fit solar panels, and the previous accountant was called Dave. We met him in the pub. You know, dodgy Dave down the pub.
Obviously, yeah. I know Dave.
We all know Dave. So it came to us. Anyway, we got him £31,000 back VAT refund very, very quickly.
Yeah.
Because we got his books up to date. It was all brilliant, and he didn't even realise he was due a refund.
Wow.
And so that's part of my job. That's what he pays me to do that. Yeah. So I've done that for him. But then also, because we got that money in for him, what he did with that money was he invested it into another member of staff. So we created jobs.
That's amazing. That's the impact.
I'm not the only accountant listening to this. Well, I'm talking, listening to this right now that's not got these success stories and what impact it's had on people's personal business lives. So get the story out there so that other business owners can think, like I said, they don't care that you can do a VAT return. What they care about is that we created a job.
That, honestly, that kind of story gives me goosebumps. I live for that kind of story. And I find that people don't value it, they don't recognise it, and it's such a shame, which is why this podcast exists in the first place, by the way. I'm trying to help accountants recognise the impact they have, because that is sexy.
And that's brilliant, and that's what accountants are really rubbish at, if I'm being honest with you, because like I said, we just take it as part and parcel of our normal day job, but it is, but tell people about what you do so you can help them.
Absolutely. For one thing that I do occasionally struggle with, and I try and put systems in place for the clients that I help who have teams, is they don't talk to their teams enough, or their teams don't want to get involved in marketing, therefore they'll never ever think about it. But having marketing conversations with your people is so important, because they're the ones who communicate with your clients.
Mine did. I had to make them do TikToks.
Yes, you did.
I made them do TikTok Fridays. I'm going to tell you how I made them. It might be Domino's pizza for lunch and things like that. I didn't physically force any violence on them. But in all seriousness, one of my TikToks, I can't remember what it was. It must have been about 2 years ago. My office manager at the time, I said, I can't remember. What should we do today? I didn't have a strategy at the time. Sorry, Kelli. So I said, go and do a TikTok for us today. I'm a bit busy today. You go and do one. And they did one, and it was to the Louis Spence, the dancer. It was one. It was something that he was saying. And have you seen it? When they were we did it as if they were leaving work 1 minute early, and what they're going to say. And she drove off. That had, and it's on their TikTok now, so I can prove it, 325,000 views.
Amazing.
We gained 3 clients from that, and I weren't even in it. So that is the power of using your team.
See, I just don't understand how people avoid marketing. It's fun. It shows your personality. Huh?
2 minutes it took to do that video.
And you got 3 clients from it. I mean, the payoff, it doesn't happen all videos, but the payoff of when you get it is really good. Amazing.
I went viral, check me out. And I went in the video.
I'm not going to come to any conclusions about that. So just
with that, it was a younger blonde office manager that I had nothing at all to do with that.
Hey, 3 clients, so whatever
Okay.
works. Whatever
I'll pick
works.
my clients out, my staff out if I need to. Joke.
That literally is it's my rule for parenting and my rule for business. Whatever works. Period.
Perfect. Yeah, do whatever. Yeah.
On a side note, I once started, and I never really followed it through, but I once started a Twitter account called Dave Down the Pub.
Did you?
Yeah.
Like set a company up, Dodgy Dave the accountant. No, I'm not.
Just to share really shite advice that accountants clients get told all the time, and I thought, no, people might not know it's a parody.
We did it. I did another TikTok on that when I was in practice, like what you don't hear accountants saying. It was such things like, yeah, we don't need paying, it's fine, we're like, you're doing things for nothing anyway. And like, you've not saved your receipts for 3 years. Oh, that's brilliant. Yeah.
We can totally use this receipt, even though it's faded and I can't see what all the tracked actions is. It's fine.
Exactly. Dodgy Dave, got a lot to answer to.
Right, so we are overrunning, obviously, because I love talking to you. But you know the drill, Beverly.
Yeah. Oh God. Hold off now.
Tell me, what is the sexiest thing about accountants?
Power.
Ooh.
They've got the power, as we just mentioned, to change not only businesses but personal lives.
Yeah.
But sometimes they don't realise it, but that's why they need you to help them to realise it. But no, we have a lot of power to our advantage from our expertise, and we need to use it as much as possible to help as many people as we can.
Yeah, you can impact the entire world. I truly believe that we need small businesses to succeed in the UK to divide wealth more fairly than it's divided currently. That is our tool. That's how we're going to do this. We can't do that without accountants.
Yes, exactly. Power to the accountants and bookkeepers.
Beverly, you've been a delight. I'm going to point people to your LinkedIn profile.
You just call me Beverly again.
No, I don't know why.
You're telling me off.
Sorry. Right, Bev. Bev, I'm going to point people to your LinkedIn profile and probably your TikTok because you talked about it today.
Thank you.
So thank you very much for coming on and being my guest.
You're welcome. It's been brilliant. Thank you.